Hello everyone and welcome to the program 7 Politics. I am Austin Beatrice Senath. The Zamfara state government on Sunday advised individuals in the state to obtain guns and defend themselves in the height of the resurgence of insecurity in the state. The statement, which was issued by the Commissioner for Information, Alhaji Ibrahim Dosara, said the government has henceforth given directive to individuals to prepare and obtain guns to defend themselves against the bandit. He also added that government is ready to facilitate for people, especially the farmers in the state, to secure basic weapons for defending themselves. Let me also put this to you that the Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Tanko Mohammed, has resigned, and Justice Kayode Ariwoola has been sworn in as the acting Chief Justice. Ariwoola was born in August 22nd, 1958. For advert placement, you can call the number on your screen.
And you can visit our website at www.7fm.tv.
7TV Nigeria.
7TV. 7TV. It's all about you.
All right, a lot of issues to be discussed here today. Joining me in the program is the former National Secretary to the former National Secretary to the Defunct Action Party Nigeria. He's also the former personal assistant on media to the Minister of Interior, Comrade Salihu Dantata Mahmood. Comrade, thanks for joining us in the program today.
Inakwana ekweleo kema kaodu Nigerians.
You are a Wazobia man.
Yeah, I'm a secular Nigerian. I believe in everybody's faith and tribe, and that is how we can build the unity of this country.
All right, Comrade, let's go straight to what we have today. But before we go, security issues have been a major issue in Nigeria, especially now that the general election is coming up. But I want you to react to some certain things happening within the political terrain in Nigeria ahead of 2023 election before we go basically into the issue of the day. Recently, INEC gave a deadline for the submission of vice presidential aspirant, and the aspirant of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has come up to say that he's still searching for his running mate, even when we've seen that he has submitted the name of Masari, to INEC. Let me get your take on that, your reaction.
You see, in a system where we want to satisfy the ruling party at all costs, draws our democracy backward. If we say today we are practicing democracy that is similar to first world countries like United States of America, we should be able to go by tenets of the practice of democracy, of equality among all parties. We have a lot of parties in Nigeria, but the most pronounced are the APC, PDP, SDP, and others. How come the law that affects these major ones are not affecting the smaller ones? Were it to be COA or AA party that delayed the submission of running mate, INEC will have come out, held press conference between the chairman, national commissioners, and asked it. But
the major issue is that most Nigerians are saying that all this while you've had an ambition to run for the presidency of this country. And even after the delay, the time that was given by INEC, you're still coming up to say that you are still searching. So the Nigerians are feeling like, is this not some act of unseriousness or something?
Don't forget the fact there is an internal fighting in APC. I have quite a number of friends who are House of Rep members who are also aspiring to be senators. Like Honorable Bashir Machina, who is presently in controversy with the Senate President Ahmed Lawal from the same senatorial district in Yobe, was a friend since 2011 when I was advisor to House of Rep member from Abuja South, Honorable Issa Dobi, when they gave me the assignment to bring all the PDP members from FCT here for Atiku. So the issue are internal fighting. The Ahmed Adamu Abdullah, who is the chairman, had wanted Ahmed Lawal, the incumbent Senate President, which failed. they rebelled against Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and don't forget, his LSY political foot soldier, who is the incumbent vice president, Osibanjo, also rebelled against him by coming out to contest.
So what is your take on this delay? I mean, this delay of running.
Delay is because there is internal fighting among them. The governors have their own bloc. The chairman of the party has his own bloc.
So you think basically it's not because he's still searching, but because of internal
because
fighting?
of internal fighting. Because you just have to bring somebody home after emerging victorious.
All right, thank you, Comrade. Let me get your take on the issue of placeholders. We've seen, law practitioners come out to say that the placeholder is a Nigerian invention. It has no part in the Constitution of Nigeria. All right, so this has been what has been on the train right now. Placeholder, this one, and all of that. What is your reaction?
Maybe you might break it to my layman's English, because this is the first time I'm hearing the English of placeholders. So maybe you can use another English.
All right, the issue of placeholder is coming to say that, let me submit, on the issue of running mate, let me give a tentative candidate, like we've seen in the Labour Party, giving Doyin Okupe for Peter Obi, to say, okay, let me put this person here until I go in search for
where do we derive? Is it electoral language or general English? Because even in school where I have not. So is it a language borrowed from the electoral school? Or
well, that is what Nigerians have.
Well, the issue is, I have never in my life seen where you keep a spare tire until you get the original tire and the choice of a running mate. Because the candidate and the running mate flies the flag. Don't forget, even in Second Republic, Shagari never emerged without Alex Ekweme, just the same way the MP, the UP and others emerged with their running mates and other things. Similarly, even when Abiola contested, he never emerged without submission of Ambassador Babagana Kingibe in the SDP. You getting my English? Same way in 1999, Obasanjo was declared a candidate when the arrangement was made. Initially, it ought to have been late Abubakar Rimi, former governor of Kano, but they saw him as a radical, but Atiku was brought in and they emerged together before even the general elections. I wonder why in this dispensation it is different. Don't also forget, when Yaradua was to succeed Obasanjo, he alongside Jonathan, then as Bayelsa State governor, emerged together. After Yaradua finished, Jonathan with Namadi Sambo, former vice president. In 2015, Buhari with Osibanjo. Is it that Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu is more special than all these former candidates and their running mates I mentioned?
Well, Atiku have submitted there the PDP, and then
Okoa, Delta State Governor,
and then the Labour Party are also on the same place.
Nobody is even. Let me tell you, with due respect to these other parties, the storyline is PDP and APC.
We're going to get to that. Let me get also your take quickly before we go into the security issue. The likely merger that is to happen between the NNPP and the Labour Party. There have been, both aspirants have come out to tell us that there have been negotiation as regards who should, so the talk now is who should be the vice, who should be the major aspirant, the candidate of the party. So that has been on the train. For advert placement, you can call the number on your screen.
And you can visit our website at www.7fm.tv.
7TV Nigeria.
7TV. 7TV. It's all about you.
Let me read a statement to you. I mean, recently the chieftain of the NNPP came out to say that by all standards, that's in the person of Jibrin Abdulamin, he said by all standards, Kwankwaso can never be vice to Peter Obi, saying that Kwankwaso has the qualification, he has a larger profile, he has an experience. more than Peter Obi. Therefore, Peter Obi should be the vice. So, what is your take on that?
Well, I think my good friend, because he was my junior in school, even though I was in another school, in secondary school, by 2 years, I think, who Providence smiled on and became House of Reps member, even chaired appropriation committee.
Okay.
Honorable Jibrin is an intellectual. He speaks from informed background. When you are talking about national contest, it is not contest of Anambra State. When you're talking about Obi's political acceptability, it's only acceptable to his southeastern bloc.
But we've seen almost the whole youth in Nigeria.
You cannot market Obi. This is, social media campaign differs from physical votes. When you're talking about general election, you are talking about where people will go and cast their votes through their PVCs. The 19 northern state votes is 4 times more than the votes of the entire southeastern state. With due respect to my friends like Anna or Mike, we are in one team together of concern, southeastern, south, northern block, and what have you. See, it is not yet time.
Comrade, let me remind you something. Recently, Obasake came out to say that the wave of the obedient...
Can I answer this question because it will be a good question for people to learn from school. What is democracy? Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It's a game of numbers.
And the people
if you bring Obi and make Kwankwaso the vice, how can he win Kaduna, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina?
But we've seen
Gombe.
youth in this whole state, they are all clamoring.
Who are the youths? Social media youths. Some of these youths do not even have PVC.
But we've seen the clip where the youth are trunking.
Have they been able to obtain the PVCs? That is the question mark. Over here in Lagos, Parade Ground, and all of you, they gathered in their numbers. Till date, they've not been able to. The issues I'm saying, there are people that have been having PVCs and have been registering over time. These so-called people that sell watermelon, rides Okada, Keke Napep, Amala, taxi drivers, they have PVCs than these educated ones on social media. So leave that out. We are the political players. I have voted in 1993 elections. And when the election was annulled, one of the things that moved me to discovering myself was the June 12th crisis, when I wrote an article that there is need for military President Babangida to make truce with MKO Abiola. And the first point of call was late Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Ali Mohammed Zege Mouleutif, and Wazir in Jama'a, who went and said, at 18, what gave you this intelligence to write this piece? And that was my sojourn to journalism.
Should in case Peter Obi agrees to be the running mate of Kwankwaso, do you see the APC and the PDP, did you even see any chance for them?
Let me tell you one thing. There are intelligence reports going around that some top echelons of the Villa don't like Atiku, don't like Tinubu. Of recent, if you observe on social media, there has been campaign of calumny on Kwankwaso as defense minister. They said there was a missing ship. I asked them the question. Kwankwaso only supervises. In the Ministry of Defense, you have limitations. You have Chief of Defense Staff, who is either a naval officer, army, because they rotate it. If, for example, today, Chief of Naval Staff takes over, maybe as Chief of Defense Staff through appointment, or if it's the Army, Land Army, or Air Force, the other one will come. That it was the case between the then Chief of Naval Staff, Afolaya, and Tafa Balogun, because there's also Marine Police. That is for Kwankwaso. They also, on Atiku, they say there is a water project of dam. There are 24 billion channeled through Vice President of Kenya and the Dubai and what have you. I say, why now? Then they also came to Atiku. They came to Tinubu paper. I said, you say somebody doesn't have credentials. What did the Constitution say? Secondary school, you can aspire to any office. What paper did he use to contest as senator in the ill-fated Babangida Third Republic? What paper did he use to become two-term governor? I am close to virtually all of them because I maintain neutrality. I'm a selfless Nigerian. What I want is a president that will give us social security, shelter, healthcare delivery, infrastructure, educational capacitation, human capacity building, power, security, or others. Today, if you are a president that will give us that, I will vote for you. I don't have permanent friend in politics.
We have seen candidates' names. I mean, Ahmed Tinubu is there. We've seen Peter Obi also, whom Obasanjo has come to say that no politician is a saint, but he's a bond of integrity. And then we've seen Kwankwaso. Who do you think will match this characteristic?
Anybody that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives. You see, you are a Christian, I'm a Muslim. You go to church and I go to mosque. No one can do it like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a tribe, your cameraman's tribe. Late Mr. Fuji, Secure and Barrister. He say, Allah ne kalon sheung bobo. Allah kade ka komai in Hausa. What it means, Allah ne kalon sheung bobo. That is only God that knows. Then again, he also said in one of his music, Ontoma shele lola olo loe enilari a lola. Meaning, what can happen tomorrow is God. Is today we have seen. You don't know what can happen. So I don't want to assume the role of God. It is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that can do it. Let's pray as Christians and Muslims. You know we are secular.
Thank you, Comrade. You're a financial security analyst. Yes, let me get your take. You heard what the Zamfara State government said recently, that citizens could go get armed, to defend themselves, particularly guns and other of these arms that could help them defend themselves. What is your reaction to that?
Hausa say, imme wadawawane, meji bawawa, ba Yoruba say, teneta burofu obamo, eningbo, mamo, bo to ironongpa.
What does that mean?
It means if the storyteller is a liar, the person listening will censor the opinion. Then Hausa said that way, that the person that is telling lies knows that the person listening knows that it's a lie. No, we need to censor. So the issue I'm trying to say, you see, constitutional provisions bestows on only the president and commander-in-chief powers of approval of possession of arms via the Office of Inspector General of Police. And there are even lighter arms that the IG can approve. He cannot approve RPG for you. He cannot approve other what have you. So I think Zamfara State Governor, who was 3-time House of Rep member, erred in the law. If not for immunity, by now DSS ought to have arrested him. Under what constitutional provision does he have the right to say Zamfara citizens should bear arms? We are not America, where everybody bears arms. Our laws have not been, repealed to that extent.
But he is of the concern that, people are being kidnapped every day. Killings are going on every day.
Is it only in Zamfara that people are being killed? Are people not being killed in Katsina? Are people not being killed in Kwara? Are people not being killed in Borno? Are people not being killed in Niger? Are people not being killed in other parts of the country? You see, when you create a problem, you must find a way getting out of it. Some of the politicians are architects of the problems of armed banditry in Zamfara because of that gold mines in Talata, Mafara, Maru, and also of others. We know the secret. There are certain things we know. We cannot bring it out because we want the security of this nation to be. Politicians in Zamfara knows the root of this. The armed banditry in Zamfara is purely because of that gold there. Itato, there used to be helicopters that come and dig and go.
Okay.
Therefore, the solution lies on the president and commander-in-chief. And to the best of my knowledge, I've been there on observation mission.
Okay,
there are military contingents as well as police.
Comrade, the people are being killed on a daily basis.
Even my own people are being killed too. Is it only Mutawane's people?
Let me ask you, do you think the security personnel have done enough to tackle the issue of security challenges?
How much do you give for the welfare of the personnel? You send a constable of the police. You send a private of the army. You send a naval rating of the navy and equivalents and other services. They go there, how they feed, you don't know. The allowances are being embezzled at the headquarters and you want them to leave. Why there can be improvement of intelligence gathering where you give them modern day guidance in globalized security, what have you. Aftermath of 9/11, of bombing of World Trade Center in America, outside the existence of the CIA, FBI, and other security architecture, they went ahead to set up the Homeland Security that has representation from all the existing security, what have you. Buhari has promised us restructuring of the security architecture. Has he done it? Are you not aware there is a fire and cat and mouse relationship among the security agencies, where even within the police, Mopol is fighting the conventional, Army is fighting Navy, Navy is fighting Air Force, DSS is fighting the others. How do you want them to achieve? Are the supervision done by the higher echelons. How many 20 or 30 generals have you seen supervising them in Zamfara, Katsina, Niger, Kwara, Borno, Yobe? If not that we've been agitating that they even increased number of some of the generals that are supervising after the 7th division in Borno, theater commands and what have you. Okay. How many of those in headquarters are there on the field like the boys?
Comrade, you know that before the Ekiti election, the president came out to admonish the police force that they should be particular about professionalism. Now, for the president to make such a statement, that means probably he has provided sufficient equipment or what is needed to make the security personnel operative to operate well. But you know also that the police force have been grossly accused of corruption. Is this it's because you see people are dying every day? Is this the fault of the government, or you are just faulted the government right now? But is it really the fault of the government? What should the security personnel do themselves?
They are not,
because they are meant to protect the life of people, and people have accused them that there's a gross corruption among them. Is it really the fault of the government? Have the government not provided enough? I mean, what they have, should it not be enough for us to see tangible results in tackling security challenges?
President Muhammadu Buhari, after toppling the democratically elected government of Shagari in 1983, created part of the problem the police are facing. I don't want to hide it. I'm not afraid to be arrested because if I die today, others people will take over. The Mopol, Sunday Adewusi as institutional police, ensured that Shagari government procured armored tanks and what have you for Mopol. When Buhari took over, they confiscated those armored tanks and other gadgets. That is where and why the police are where they are, because they saw them as affront they might also stage coup one day. The police have not benefited enough under Buhari government. When he was elected in 2015, since his election, Land Army have benefited $1 billion for modern armament and weapons. Air Force $1.5 billion. The records are there. How much has been given to the police? Even with the setting up of the police trust fund headed by former IG Suleiman Abba, I put this question to the police affairs minister as well as others. The issues are some of the committees in the Senate and House of Reps they are supposed to oversight are not oversighting up to expectation. If you don't favor a unit or a department that is charged constitutionally with internal police, in the internal police, internal security methods, police are in the lead, followed by other paramilitary, DSS and also others. But they are should change. They don't have barracks, habitable barracks. They don't have logistics. They don't have others. How do you want them to act? You accuse the police. It is not only police that goes and provides security in Ekiti election. Well, civil defense are there, DSS are there, Army are there, Air Force and others. Why are we talking police alone? Is it because we see them every now and then?
Quickly, let me take you back to what the Zamfara government has said. The statement has been made already. Go get arms for yourself. And of course, it goes quickly into the ear of people because in a bid to defend themselves, go get them. For those who have the money, they might want to go fast. But let me ask, what is the implication of this statement already because it has been altered?
This is shameful to Zamfara State. In case His Excellency Mutawale has forgotten, Zamfara State is one of the most endowed states. Former National Security Advisor and 3 months Chief of Army Staff under interim national government, Lieutenant General Ali Mohammed Gusau, hails from that state. He was National Security Advisor to Obasanjo. Former IG, Muhammad Diko Abubakar, who was Inspector General of Police, is from that state. What are we talking about? You cannot wash your dirt in the open. Let them go back. There was a security summit organized under Mutawale when he came to office. Where is the report? The chairman of the security summit, former Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Diko Abubakar, got angry and said, you brought us to come and organize this summit. The report they presented to His Excellency Bello Mutawale, let him tell the world whether he has implemented, where some leading emirs and other people were indicted. So did he in any way prosecute them? Why is he crying foul?
What is the implication of this?
He's also part of the game. So let him not deceive Nigerians. We are not fools. Let him bring the report. the Muhammadu Diko Abubakar committee presented to him.
What is the implication of this?
The implications are
to Zamfara
he's trying to groom,
and to Nigeria.
He's trying to groom rascality. He's trying to make our citizens to now gag and fight against themselves, because this is insanity. This is approach an invitation of instability. If anything goes wrong in Zamfara, His Excellency Mutawale should be arrested, even though he has immunity, because it's like incitement. He has once again incited Zamfara people. People are suffering in Maru, Taulata Mafara, Bakura, Bungudu, Gusau, Sahe, Kotolkoshi, and other axes of Zamfara State.
Comrade, now, the statement, let's assume that this is a bill that will be signed and then, of course, taken up by Nigeria.
Is there any bill in the State Assembly?
Okay.
Who signs the bill?
Now,
is it National Assembly you're talking about?
Let's assume that.
Are you now saying because of his pronouncement that any president will be foolish, or the National Assembly?
Within his state, his state, if the state has decided, because already we saw
the
that
state has not passed.
Distributing about
Can you please check constitutional provisions on security? Security is vested on the federal government, and this is part of what makes the president to be president and commander-in-chief. That C you are seeing there, that commander-in-chief, is those powers for him to be in charge of armed forces, police, DSS, NIA, immigration, customs. State government cannot even give order to commissioner of police, nor controller of customs, immigration, DSS director, and even commanding officers of naval, air force, and army.
But
so let's not complicate issues. Governors have no power on security. They can only complement, and states like Anambra, Lagos, and others have been complementing. Lagos State have been buying vehicles for police, Navy, Air Force, Customs, Civil Defense, DSS. How many vehicles have they bought? How many trainings have they done? The only roles they can play is to complement. They don't have such right-away powers and powers of authority on security. It is still vested on the president and commander-in-chief. We have not gone to where they can create state police by themselves. They have to get the powers from the federal government. And who is the commander-in-chief? This president.
For advert placement, you can call the number on your screen.
And you can visit our website at www.7fm.tv.
7TV Nigeria.
7TV. 7TV. It's all about you.